In the heart of a vibrant Nigerian village, drums, thunder, and colors swirl as Aduni's wedding day dawns. But as families gather and masquerades leap, a shadow moves through the crowd, a stranger with a secret that could destroy everything. What will happen when a bride's dream is built on a lie no one dares to speak? The village awoke with music. Drums rolled like thunder over the red earth, talking flutes replied, and the voices of women filled the air with songs of joy. From every corner of the dusty paths, people streamed toward one destination, the grand compound of Chief Ayodele, where his only daughter, Aduni, would wed. Aduni. She was the kind of bride songs are written for. Slender yet radiant, her dark skin glowing like polished bronze under the early morning sun. Her laughter had always been the sound of innocence, a bell that rang even in sorrowful times. Today, she sat in her chamber surrounded by women, her body wrapped in the elegance of tradition. A shimmering aso-oke woven with gold threads hugged her frame, and coral beads lined her neck in layers, swaying with every breath. The women sang around her, teasing, praising, blessing, as they painted her hands with henna and tied her gele high like the crown of a queen. The air smelled of palm wine and roasted goat, mingled with the fragrance of fresh flowers. Across the compound, goats bleated, children ran in dusty circles, and men carried crates of drinks, preparing for the grand feast. Palm fronds decorated the gates, announcing to the world that this was a house of celebration. Aduni's heart fluttered. She imagined her life with Emeka, her charming groom. He had swept into her world like a whirlwind, a man of the city whose smile carried promises of tomorrow. His words were honey, his eyes a mix of mischief and warmth. Her parents adored him, her friends envied her, and the elders spoke of his generosity. He had built a reputation quickly, donating to the village church, helping the youth football team, showering gifts on the elders. To everyone, Emeka was a dream fulfilled. Yet, in the corner of that joy, a shadow lingered. For each time he smiled, it was too practiced, too perfect, as though behind his teeth something darker waited. His laughter was a little too loud, his gaze a little too restless. When he thought no one watched, his eyes darted, searching, calculating. Still, in the whirlwind of drumming and dancing, who would notice? Not today, not on this day of joy. The bride's father, Chief Ayodele, sat with his peers under the shade of the big iroko tree, beaming with pride. He had dreamed of this day for years, a day when his daughter's marriage would seal alliances and elevate the family name. His wife bustled about, commanding servants, ensuring every guest had palm wine in hand. Nothing was left undone. The village itself seemed to bend around the celebration, eager to taste joy after months of quiet labor in the farms. The masquerades had arrived, their raffia skirts sweeping the ground, their carved wooden faces fierce and beautiful. They leapt and twirled, scattering the children who screamed in both fear and delight. The griots began their chants, singing of lineage and destiny, reminding everyone of the greatness of Aduni's ancestry. And Emeka, he was a picture of splendor. Clad in a snow-white agbada, embroidered with silver, a red cap tilted proudly on his head, and beads matching those of the bride, he walked into the compound like a prince. Women sighed as he passed. Men clapped him on the back with admiration. He greeted everyone, his voice warm, his eyes glittering. Yet deep within that glitter lay a flicker of unease, a flash of something unspoken. The photographer clicked his camera furiously, capturing moments that would live forever. The shy smile of Aduni, the proud chest of Emeka, the tears glistening in Chief Ayodele's eyes, the swirling dancers who turned dust into golden clouds. It was a perfect picture, painted on the canvas of tradition. But perfection is fragile. As Aduni stepped out for her first public appearance as a bride, the ululations of women pierced the sky. Her gele shone like a crown, her gown sparkled in the sunlight, and her eyes glistened with tears of joy. The crowd erupted, some throwing money into the air, others singing her praises. She moved gracefully, each step a prayer, each glance a promise. She reached for Emeka's hand, and he took it with a smile so wide it almost cracked. But for a fleeting second, his grip tightened, not in love, but in something sharper, like desperation. The wind shifted. The drums slowed, as if the ancestors themselves leaned in to listen. A dog barked furiously in the distance, its chain rattling against wood. One of the elders coughed, a sound that broke the rhythm of joy. The photographer's camera jammed unexpectedly. Small signs, easy to dismiss, yet woven together, they whispered that fate had secrets hidden in its folds. And there was another presence. Far from the center of the festivities, beyond the gates where the palm fronds fluttered, a figure stood still. A woman, cloaked in silence, her face partially veiled, her eyes fixed on the groom. She did not smile, she did not move, she only watched. The laughter and drums could not reach her. She belonged to a different story, one that had not yet been told. The compound, alive with song and color, did not notice her. The people, drunk with joy, had no reason to. But the wind carried her stillness into the heart of the celebration, brushing against Emeka's neck, making him glance around nervously. For a moment, his smile faltered. His hand slipped from Aduni's fingers, only for him to quickly grab her again, masking the tremor in his spirit with laughter. The feast began. Mortars pounded yam, steaming pots of agusi bubbled, and meat roasted over open flames. Women carried trays balanced on their heads, men poured drinks, and children darted between legs, sticky with sugar and joy. The masquerades danced harder, dust rising in golden clouds that blurred the world into a dream. Aduni sat with her bridesmaids, her face glowing, her laughter unrestrained. To her, life was opening like a flower. She did not see the stiffness in Emeka's jaw, the beads of sweat despite the shade, the way his eyes kept returning to the edge of the compound where no one seemed to stand, no one but a shadow. And as the drums reached a fever pitch, a whisper stirred through the air, unheard by most, but carried by fate. All that glitters is not gold. The celebration roared on, but beneath the laughter, something darker had begun to stir. And so, the perfect beginning carried within it the seed of disaster. As the music swells and the crowd rejoices, Aduni shines brighter than the sun, believing love has crowned her at last. But in the shadows beyond the gates, a veiled woman watches, still, silent, unshaken. Emeka's smile hides a flicker of fear. The celebration is only beginning, but so is the storm. What truth does this woman carry? Will wedding drums become screams of betrayal? Subscribe now to find out. Don't miss the next shocking twist.